Hey folks, welcome to Kayak DIY. Here, myself and my father head off to ICAST, where we're going to be filming the latest products in paddle sports and fishing. Check it out. Hey folks, Kayak DIY here, and right now I am looking at the Voodoo board by Kaku. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So this board right here is pretty cool in a sense that you have some really unique features that add a lot of versatility. So we'll start off at the bow. The bow has some nice shape to it to where you're able to cut through the waves. You have a nice generous hatch, which is this way, sideways, so that you can really stuff the hull with whatever gear that you're doing. So this would be a really great, it's kind of in its own category, a great like paddleboard kayak hybrid to be able to take for camping. And so you could put all your tents, your different gear in there, and you'll be good to go. You got a long amount of tracks right here. Here they just have it set up with rod holders, paddle holder. You got a nice decking that comes with. Track mounts on the other side. You got scupper holes right here. The real cool thing though with this particular board is the seat. So with this seat here, as we said, you have some versatility in how you can go about using it. They still kept it relatively simple, not with the adjustability. They just wanted to make it really strong. So you can sit on it like a traditional seat. Great back support. It feels very comfortable. I could actually sit on this and be comfortable, I think, all day. I would have no problem with this. Then I can kind of go in a more relaxed position if I want. I can even sit in a elevated position if I want to get a little bit better sight lines. Maybe I'm using the trolling motor and I'm running it from a remote, or maybe an extra long tiller, or I also could be paddling. I could have a paddle here. Also, I can stand, and you're not going to break this thing. I mean, this is a very durable seat. It's built to last. They kept it simple in design, but they just made it strong. And this is right here is what actually drew me to this particular board. And the seat does come with the kayak as part of the package price. Here they have some track-mounted boxes, accessories that they put on, so you can stuff like your plano boxes and whatnot in here. These are added accessories. Here you got some added accessories of rod holders. They actually have the battery over here that they just put on, so they just put it right under the seat for the time being. They have an Ingle cooler that they put on here just to kind of give you an idea of how you could go about using this particular craft. Going on the back, this is where it gets really interesting. I almost have to count it here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power pole mounts. So this mount here is like an industry standard on a lot of kayaks now, and it is a power pole mount. It's in the shape of what right here, essentially the power poles. And so a lot of companies have been designing kayaks to accommodate the power poles. And what's great about that is other companies then have started designing other accessories to be able to utilize the same mounting platform. So a company called Easy Mount, which I'll have linked in the video description below, they have what's called the Slipstream and a few other products, and they actually make a trolling motor mount, which utilizes this existing bolt pattern, so you don't have to do added drilling into your kayak. So having these on here, obviously people aren't going to put 5 of these on their kayak. Here we have 2 of them on there, which will be nice because it will keep the craft actually relatively in a fixed position. But just having the 5 of them there adds a ton of versatility into how you can go about rigging this craft without having to drill extra holes. It just makes rigging easy. Coming out to the back here, just kind of let you take a look at the hull shape. You can get down there nice and low, and you can kind of see the shape. So It's relatively flat. You do have a little bit of a skeg built into here, and it has a little bit of a removable rub rail. So if you actually were dragging it at all, this would be something that would wear first, and you could actually replace that if you had to. So, a little bit of the specs on this kayak, or on this craft. I keep wanting to call it a kayak, but it's really not a kayak, and it's really not a paddleboard. It's kind of its own category. We'll go into the specs here. It is a 13-foot long hull. We have it weighing in at 77 pounds. It is 35 inches wide, and it has a weight capacity of 450 pounds. It's coming in at a price point of $1,199. You see it on the back here with a trolling motor. They have tested it with some outboards, but they brought up some very important points. With an outboard, unless you have a really long tiller on that outboard, it's going to be a little bit difficult to operate an outboard. Not to mention there are some safety concerns with outboards. If you aren't smart and you don't do things right, if you don't have a kill switch on your outboard and you fall overboard, that is going to cause the craft to start turning and circling you, and you don't want to be hit by your own craft. So, you know, you could probably put an outboard on this. Just be smart in how you go about doing it. And I wouldn't be going crazy. Probably 2.5 horse would be plenty if you do it, but they aren't advocating for outboards at this time. They're advocating more for the use of trolling motors, Torqeedos, possibly Bixby, other electric motor options out there. And the great thing about those is you can run them from a remote that you wear around your neck, and some of them even have GPS, phone controls. So going with a trolling motor mount is actually, it adds a lot of versatility into how you can use the craft. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, check out the link in the video description below for more info.